0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds, Mrs. Chen. Your foundation's quarterly report needs your signature before Monday's board meeting. I looked up from the stack of grant applications covering my office desk, accepting the leather portfolio from my assistant. David, the Chen Foundation had processed over 200 funding requests this month alone. Everything from pediatric cancer research to arts education programs. Each application represented someone's hope for positive change, and I took that responsibility seriously. Thank you, David. Any urgent items that 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 36 seconds can't wait until after the weekend. He consulted his tablet, scrolling through the carefully organized schedule that kept my philanthropic work running smoothly. The Children's Hospital called about the new wing groundbreaking ceremony. They want to confirm your availability for the dedication speech next month. I signed the quarterly report, noting the foundation's assets had grown another 12% this quarter. Conservative investments and strategic partnerships had built our endowment from my initial $20 million commitment 0 hours 1 minute and 11 seconds into something approaching $200 million over the past 8 years. Not bad for someone who'd started with a business degree and determination to make generational wealth mean something beyond luxury purchases. Confirm the dedication. What else? Your mother-in-law called twice about tonight's gala seating arrangements. Something about ensuring proper family representation at the head table. I suppressed a smile. Eleanor Whitman had been micromanaging family appearances since I'd married her son 5 years ago, treating every social event like a 0 hours 1 minute and 49 seconds strategic military operation. Tonight's Children's Medical Foundation Gala would be no exception, especially since the Whitman family had been prominent supporters for decades. Did she mention anything specific about the arrangements? David's diplomatically neutral expression told me everything. She expressed concern about maintaining appropriate family hierarchy during the speeches. Translation: Eleanor didn't want me sitting too close to the donors who actually mattered. Despite my foundation's significant contributions to various causes, 0 hours to minutes and 26 seconds, she still saw me as the outsider who'd somehow captured her son's attention without bringing sufficient social pedigree to the marriage. I'll handle it tonight. Anything else requiring immediate attention? The Detroit project site visit is confirmed for Tuesday, and the Education Initiative presentations are ready for your review. I nodded, gathering the grant applications I'd been reviewing. The Chen Foundation's Education Initiative was my personal passion project, providing scholarships and program funding to underserved 0 hours, 3 minutes, and 3 seconds communities. This year's budget allocated $40 million specifically for educational equity programs, money that would change hundreds of lives. My phone buzzed with a text from my husband, James. Mom's already at the venue directing setup. Fair warning, she's in full general mode tonight. I replied, understood. See you at 7 o'clock. James had learned to navigate his mother's social control tendencies by providing advanced warnings and strategic absences. He genuinely loved both of us, but had long ago stopped trying to broker peace between Eleanor's 0 hours, 3 minutes, and 45 seconds traditional expectations and my decidedly non-traditional approach to wealth and influence. The drive to the Meridian Hotel took 30 minutes through downtown traffic, giving me time to review my mental notes about tonight's event. The Children's Medical Foundation raised money for pediatric research and treatment programs, a cause close to my heart since my younger brother's successful leukemia treatment 15 years ago. The foundation's annual gala typically brought in around $3 million, funding that supported groundbreaking research 0 hours for minutes and 22 seconds initiatives. I'd been quietly supporting their work for years through both personal donations and foundation grants, but always in ways that didn't draw attention to the amounts involved. Eleanor Whitman thrived on public recognition and carefully orchestrated social positioning. I preferred results over recognition, a philosophical difference that had created tension from the beginning of my relationship with James. The hotel's valet service handled my car efficiently, and I entered the ballroom to find the expected scene of controlled elegance, 0 hours for minutes and 59 seconds crystal chandeliers, perfectly arranged floral centerpieces, round table seating 10. with a raised platform for the evening speakers and award presentations. The guest list included the city's most prominent philanthropists, medical professionals, and society figures, all dressed in variations of expensive formal wear. Eleanor stood near the registration table, wearing an elegant navy gown and what I'd learned to recognize as her event management expression. She was discussing something with the foundation's executive director, 0 hours 5 minutes and 38 seconds, gesturing toward the seating chart with practiced authority. "Isabella, darling," she called when spotted me. The term darling from Elena always carried subtle condescension, as if she were addressing a child who needed gentle correction. "I was just ensuring your seating placement respects the foundation's donor hierarchy." I approached with a warm smile, having learned that genuine pleasantness confused Elena more than defensive responses. "Good evening, Elena. The decorations look beautiful. I'm sure tonight will be very 0 hours 6 minutes and 15 seconds successful." Yes, well, success requires proper planning and appropriate recognition of long-standing supporters. She consulted her seating chart, making small marks with a gold pen. "I've placed you at table 12 with some lovely young couples. I thought you'd be more comfortable with people closer to your own social level." Table 12 was near the back of the room, strategically positioned to be barely visible from the main platform. Elena had effectively relegated me to the children's table despite my foundation's substantial ongoing support. 0 hours 6 minutes and 53 seconds for the organization. "That sounds perfect," I said calmly. "I'm sure I'll enjoy the conversation." James appeared beside me, handsome in his black tuxedo and clearly prepared to run interference if necessary. "Mom, Isabella, you both look wonderful. How are the final preparations going?" "Smoothly, thanks to proper advanced planning," Elena replied, shooting me a meaningful look. Though some people seem to think charitable work is just about writing checks rather than understanding the social dynamics involved. The barb was subtle but clear as 0 hours 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Elena believed I lacked sophistication in my approach to philanthropy, preferring direct action over the elaborate social rituals that sustained her peer group's charitable efforts. Speaking of checks, James said carefully, "Isabella's foundation has been incredibly generous to pediatric research programs. I saw the quarterly reports and the funding amounts are really impressive." Eleanor smiled tight and almost imperceptibly. She knew about my foundation, but had never inquired about specifics, preferring to assume it was a 0 hours 8 minutes and 12 seconds small-scale vanity project rather than acknowledge its actual scope and impact. "Of course, dear." New money often tries to make up for lack of heritage through excessive generosity. The comment landed like a slap, though delivered with Eleanor's trademark gracious tone. She just dismissed my family's hard-earned success as new money while simultaneously criticizing the generosity that had helped fund medical breakthroughs, saving children's lives. James tensed beside me, but I maintained my calm expression. "You're absolutely right, Eleanor. 0 hours 8 minutes and 53 seconds heritage is important. Though I find that combining traditional values with contemporary resources often produces the most meaningful results." Before she could respond, the foundation's executive director approached our group with obvious relief at finding Eleanor available for consultation. "Mrs. Whitman, we need your guidance on the auction presentation order. Should we lead with the research equipment or the scholarship fund?" Eleanor immediately turned her attention to event logistics, leaving James and me to find our assigned seats. 0 hours 9 minutes and 30 seconds as we walked through the ballroom. I noticed the careful social geography Eleanor had orchestrated. The head table featured longtime board members and major donors whose families had been supporting the foundation for generations. Tables 2 through 6 held prominent physicians, pharmaceutical executives, and established society figures. My table 12 was populated by younger professionals who probably donated in the hundreds rather than thousands. "I'm sorry about Mom," James said quietly as we reached our table. 0 hours 10 minutes and 6 seconds. "She's been stressed about tonight's fundraising goals." "It's fine. I understand the pressure of event management." What I understood was that Eleanor saw me as a threat to her carefully maintained social hierarchy. My foundation's resources exceeded those of most families at the head table, but I never demanded recognition or board positions in return for support. That restraint had apparently been interpreted as evidence that my contributions weren't significant enough to warrant serious consideration. Our table mates were indeed pleasant 0 hours 10 minutes and 44 seconds young professionals. Two couples who worked in medical administration, a pediatric nurse and her husband, and a pharmaceutical researcher with his wife. The conversation flowed easily through topics ranging from treatment innovations to fundraising challenges, with everyone sharing genuine passion for improving children's health care. During the salad course, I noticed Eleanor moving between tables, greeting longtime supporters with warm familiarity while maintaining polite distance from those she considered less. 0 hours 11 minutes and 18 seconds established. Her performance was flawless, demonstrating the social skills that had made her a formidable force in philanthropic circles for 30 years. The auction began after din,